Singing Creek Educational Center acknowledges that we are on the traditional land of the Kalapuya people, past and present. We recognize and honor their ties to this ancestral homeland and wish to express our gratitude for their stewardship of this place. Hi kids, it's Karen Rainsong here, and it's October. Welcome to our homeschool curriculum, and this month our theme is Opal Whiteley, the pioneer girl who lived in Cottage Grove. And Brooke and I are going to sniff out some clues to see if we can find out who Opal Whiteley was. So join us as we look around town and see who we can talk to and what we can find out about Opal. Here's this great mural on the wall at this park in Cottage Grove. It says Mosby Creek Bridge right on top of this beautiful painting of this bridge. And then right over here in the middle is Opal with all her beautiful butterflies. Wow, beautiful. And then on the far side of the mural over here, it's a picture of the one-room schoolhouse. This is where Opal went to school, and she spent a lot of time traveling around Oregon talking to people and talking to children, spreading the Christian religion, and also talking about nature and animals, and lecturing on the spirit of nature and the fairyland around us. It looks like Opal loved all the creatures, especially butterflies and all kinds of insects. Right here at the base of her mural, look what I just found, tucked into the bush. That's beautiful, little feather. What do you think, Brooke? We put our little bird feather in your pocket right here on the back of your apron. You can hold the clues for us. How about that? Hey, Brooke. Should we sniff out some more clues to Opal? What should we go to next? What did you find? Looks like you found another clue here in the park by the mural. I see what looks like a little book library. Huh. Take a book, return a book. It's a little blue book box. Brooke seems to think that that leads to another clue. What are you looking at, Brooke? What did you find? Is there something across the street? If we look right across the street where Brooke is pointing, I see the Book Mine, a bookstore right here in Cottage Grove, across from the mural park. Should we head over there, Brooke? What do you think?
I went to look for the fairies. I went to the near wood.
What do you think, Brooke? You know this place, don't ya? I believe our friend Gail works here at the Book Mine. Hi, Gail.
Hi.
Brooke and I are here.
Hi, Brooke.
Yeah, we're here to say hi and talk with you a little bit about Opal Whiteley.
Hi. Opal Whiteley was a little girl in Cottage Grove many long years ago.
And do you have some books about her?
I do have books about her.
All right.
A book that she wrote, it's her diaries that she wrote when she was a little girl, and they were made into a really special book back in 1920, which was a long time ago, 100 years ago. This is what the book looks like. It looks like it has a wood cover, and it has photographs in it. There's Opal as a very young woman putting together her diary.
Oh wow, I heard that she had it in a whole bunch of ripped up pieces and had to glue them all back together.
She had to put them all back together because she did a book for children called The Fairyland Around Us. And she self-published that, and it was about nature, and she had a very special relationship where she talked to the birds and talked to the butterflies and named them all and the flowers, and she made a book called The Fairyland Around Us, and she made several of them. They actually have one at the Cottage Grove Library that they let people look at.
Oh, great.
Sometimes.
I hope we get to see that.
Yes, I hope you do too.
Yeah.
She entered school when she was only 5 years old. She entered the Walden School, and she did 3 grades in 1 year, and she ended up the mural across the street that I hope Karen shows you is the picture on it is based on a poster that she put at the University of Oregon, and she taught nature classes for 10 cents.
Wow,
And
10 cents.
10 cents, yes.
So you have a display about Opal Whiteley? Let's take a look.
I hid behind the trees and made little runs to the
Her birthday was December 11th, 1897. We put this up for her birthday one year, but this is a picture of her with a little relative in a grape arbor near Walden, where she was living.
Mm-hmm.
Here's her book, The Singing Creek Where the Willows Grow, is the diary that I just showed you, but published in this format. And then Benjamin Hoff, who's a pretty famous author, put some other commentary and a little bit more about Opal Whiteley in it.
Mm-hmm.
We also have this, which is actually a copy of the original book. The pages are like that.
And so, Gail, what is it that you love about Opal Whiteley? Why is she important to the town?
She was her special voice, her special way of looking at things. She created a bit of a stir in town at the time that she wrote the book, because some of the things that she says are critical of family members, and then there was a controversy about whether she'd really written that book, and it was just a ruckus. And then Benjamin Hoff introduced the book, The Singing Creek, and when the book was published, we had a book signing here.
Nice.
Special. If you see the statue that's at the library, it was dedicated by Southland Mental Health. It's a bronze life-size statue of her looking joyful, because at times in her life she was misunderstood and wasn't so joyful, but her joyful child spirit and her connection to nature and to God were just really, really special.
Oh,
So,
thank
anyway.
you so much for
Sure.
sharing with us, Gail.
Sure.
Hey there, kids. So Brooke and I are here at the Cottage Grove Library and Community Center. We heard that there's some Opal Whiteley stuff here in the library. Are you ready to lead us in, Brooke? Let's go see what we can find. I heard there's a statue of Opal Whiteley in here. Let's go inside. Oh, look. Here's our friend Natasha.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Natasha.
How are you doing today?
Good. This is Brooke, the history dog.
See.
She's excited to learn a little bit about Opal Whiteley today.
Well, come on in.
Thanks.
I went to look for the fairies. I went to the near
So tell us about what's here in this case, Natasha.
So this is our Opal Whiteley special collection. We have a number of different books about her. We have some objects that belong to her, including this book that I have in my hands right now. It is a family medical advice book, and it actually has the date that it was acquired in there,
Wow,
which is pretty neat.
it's very old.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you who are wondering why I'm not wearing gloves, archival studies have determined that it's safer for the book if you just wash your hands really well before you touch
Oh,
them. So,
okay. And that book is about over 100 years old?
yes, it is.
Wow.
See, I think it's at 1892, so that would make it almost 130 years old at this point.
Wow.
So,
Great. You have a lot of neat stuff in there. A lot of books
Yeah.
about Opal, it looks like, from different authors.
got
Writing
one
about her
called
life.
The Flower of Stars.
Oh, I've heard of this. This is
Yeah.
one of Opal's, isn't it a book of poetry
Yes.
by Opal?
And we've got a lovely photo that's been pasted in.
And
Her-
that's her with a dog?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen this book of her poetry, only online, not in
Yeah.
person. Wow.
So this is actually a photocopy of one of the illustrations that is in the fairyland around us. As you can see, Opal would write all of these wonderful little poems around these beautiful illustrations.
So she hand wrote these into the books she sold?
Yes. So
Wow.
she had different illustrations in every single one of her books. And
Oh my gosh.
so that makes every copy pretty special.
Like a treasure.
Yeah. And we actually celebrate her birthday every year. And one of the activities that we did last time was other people actually making their own poetry pictures.
Oh, nice. So inspired by Opal. They
Yes.
wrote what they felt about nature.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's beautiful.
What do you think, Brooke? Did we have fun at the library today? Thank you so much to our friend Natasha. We'll be seeing you again soon. We're on a walk around Cottage Grove right now, and Brookie and I just discovered something really exciting in our hunt for Opal Whiteley. We just saw this big, giant, covered bridge right on River Road. Hey, Brooke, what do you think? Should we go explore the bridge? Yeah? Come on, let's go see if we can learn about Opal Whiteley in there. Wow, this is a really tall bridge. Let's go see what's inside. Brooke, you can lead the way. Oh wow, this is a massive bridge. Look at that, it's so big. Huh. I know there's a lot of covered bridges around here in Cottage Grove. Wow. Let's see if we can find out a little bit more about Opal Whiteley. Hey, look, here's our friend, Stephen Williamson.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, great. And there's Brooke. Look who we found, Brooke. Our friend Steve.
Hello, girl. How you doing, Brooke?
So we were just looking at this beautiful railroad bridge. Can you tell us a little bit about this bridge?
It is an incredible bridge. It's been restored. That's fixed all up almost exactly the way it was when it was built in 1925.
Wow.
Now, you see these metal strips going down the middle of it. This used to be a railroad bridge, and this is where the railroad cars carrying lumber would come. And they crossed the little river here, went over through the bridge, and down there, and that was the Chambers Mill. And so we're in the Chambers Bridge. They owned this. J.H. Chambers, a very important local family in Cottage Grove in Lane County. And this bridge is just beautifully constructed.
Yeah, it sure is.
Take a good picture, if you would, of these. Look at these huge. See these pieces of lumber?
Yeah.
And see how tall. That's one piece of lumber.
Wow.
Right there, all the way up to the ceiling, about a foot wide on each side. And this was all cut from the center of one giant old growth tree.
Wow. They don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't. The Opal Whiteley's family worked in the lumber and gold mining industry. And even though she didn't use this particular bridge, because it wasn't built when she was a girl here, she used bridges a lot like it. And then her family, her father worked in the lumber mill and in the woods. And yeah, her family either did logging around here or gold mining up in the Bohemia gold mines, that direction.
Yeah. Great. And you know a lot about Opal, right? I know that you've read some of her books and have talked about her. So what draws you to Opal? What do you like about her?
I've been fascinated with Opal for years because she is a great mystery and a legend.
Nice.
Now, a legend is, something that is, you can prove most of the things about the story, but maybe you can't prove this much. And just about every town has a legend in it. But most of the time they're not known outside the town. Our town of Cottage Grove, our legend, Opal Whiteley, she is known worldwide.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
And she's buried, she passed away in 1993. She's buried in a very, very high-class cemetery in London, England. And
Wow.
she had just an incredible life. But when she was here, Opal was easily the most popular and recognized teenager in the state of Oregon.
Wow.
She had a dog named Brave Horatius, and that dog was a German Shepherd kind of dog. And the name Brave Horatius is in a very famous poem in a big battle. And Brave Horatius rallies the troops, and they go on to fight and win the day.
How did Opal know all this stuff? How did she know all these famous people? She was only 7 or 8 or something like that when she wrote her journal?
Yep, she learned how to read and write at an amazingly young age, like 3, 4 years old. At 4 years old, her family was buying her books and paper to write with.
Wow.
And she was one of these kids just super gifted, super smart when they're super young.
Oh, wow.
And she read and read and read anything she could get her hands on.
What do you think about Brave Horatius? What do you think about Opal Whiteley's dog, huh? Do you think you would have liked him? I bet you would have. You're a pretty brave dog, too. So, Steve, what about some of her other animal friends? I heard that she had a crow, Lars Porcinium. Is that right?
Yes, Lars Porcinium. And this pet crow is a great character in her book. Now, the real Lars Porcinium was part of the poem that Brave Horatius is in.
Oh.
And Lars Porcinium in the poem calls out the great cry.
Wow.
And she named the crow after Lars Porcinium because crows are among the loudest birds we have around here. And you really hear them call, call, call. And they're, the crow also, they love shiny things. So there is a place in Opal's diary where Opal gets in trouble because the mother thinks that Opal has lost her thimble, her silver thimble for sewing. You know, put it on top of the finger and then sew so you don't stick your finger. But what's happened is the crow has gotten it and taken it to his nest.
Oh, the trickster, right?
Yes, and 100, 150 years ago, every woman who lived out in the country would have known about crows stealing thimbles and little pieces of shiny things to take to their nests.
Uh-huh.
Crows are really smart. They recognize us as individual people.
Wow.
So if you and I go out and we're feeding crows, they get used to us. They know you, they know me. And yeah, they're amazingly smart birds. They never have been liked though because crows eat corn and the crops that farms have.
Right,
So
right.
there's a place in the diary where Opal's heart is absolutely broken because the boy that does chores for her, the boy that works for him, shoots and kills Lars Porcina.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, to him he's shooting just a varmint bird, a bird that's eating the food.
Yeah.
But to her, it's one of her favorite, most precious friends.
Yeah, and that reminds me that Opal seems to have a real tender heart. Like she's really compassionate and really caring about the animals and the plants and the trees all
Yes,
around, and
yes.
not just history that she talks about in her journals, but
Right.
she cares a lot. Didn't she have like a little hospital?
She had a little hospital for carrying little small injured animals.
Uh-huh.
And I think she had, raccoons. She had all kinds of animals because a lot of people saw this little hospital.
Yeah.
And friends and neighbors would give her little pieces of cloth to use for bandages.
Oh, that's sweet.
For helping care for them. She also had a nursery. A nursery for newborns.
Oh, sweet. In the forest, right?
Yes, yes. They were both kind of hidden in the forest. And pigs are very, very smart animals. I've read they're the smartest animal on a farm. And they become very good pets. If you look up pigs as pets, you'll find Lots and lots of people have them as pets now. They make very good pets. You can teach them to be housebroken.
Yeah.
And they follow you around just like dogs.
Uh-huh.
And so her school was close to her house. And the pig would get out and follow her down to school and walk in, and one time did walk into the school.
Yep.
Opal also would take her little friends caterpillars. She raised caterpillars, the little soft, furry, wiggly things. And there was one time when she had them in her school desk and they got loose and they got around the floor, and the teacher just panics because she's kind of afraid of things like caterpillars and spiders. And that's it. And Opal's made to stay after school. And after school, Opal shows her the caterpillars and how gentle and smooth and how nice they were. And there's this great little part where she's gotten the teacher to appreciate caterpillars.
Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, I like them. I think the kids watching at home like insects and caterpillars too. In fact, we're going to learn about how to take care of animals and provide habitat and shelter for them in the fall and winter time in our yards. So we can be like Opal.
Great.
So any last things that you want to say about Opal?
She is the legend of Cottage Grove and one of the big legends of Oregon. And you can read her book, study her as you grow up. She is a fascinating person, and she has got so many mysteries to her life. If you like mysteries, if you like interesting stories, you're going to really like the story of Opal.
Right around here somewhere is the Singing Creek where the willows grow, where she liked to dabble her toes in the creek. We're coming up on a spot where all of these trees to the right was part of Opal's family farm. Looks like a fun place to grow up as a kid. What do you think? Was that fun crossing Mosby Creek Bridge where Opal went as a child? Brooke's really excited looking around everywhere to try to find more clues about Opal. We're on the trail. Thanks for joining Brooke and I on the trail of Opal. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. I'd like to encourage you to start a nature journal of your own and share it with us. Until next time.